When I submitted my resignation, I went home and I received a call. He said, Daniel, tomorrow you need to leave Dubai. And I said, what? I need to leave Dubai? What do you mean? Like, we can only give you your passport and you need to go outside Dubai. If you want to work here, you need to find another way.
And welcome to Talking with the Expert. My name's Rose Davidson from rosedavidson.com. And Talking with the Expert is about all things business by business owners for business owners. And you can find it on all good podcasting streaming platforms and on YouTube. And today it is my very great pleasure to introduce you to Daniel Francisco. And Daniel is living in Dubai at the moment. And in 2015, after being laid off twice early in his career and having a strong background in the events trade and publishing industry, he started his own marketing agency. And over the years of hustle and working with corporate brands, he almost came to a point of burnout and put his marriage on shaky ground. And so this wasn't a good place to be. So upon some self-reflection, he wanted to build a business that operates not just on making money, but something little bit more meaningful. So today we're going to be talking about how to build a meaningful personal brand and podcasting as the new way of networking and how to jump ship from your 9 to 5. So welcome, Daniel, and welcome and thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Rose, for having me on your show. I'm excited to be here.
Perfect. Perfect. So I guess what happened to you in 2015?
Interesting. So basically, before we go in 2015, what my story was like any other expat, right? So I'm from the Philippines. Interestingly, in 2010, after working 2.5 years in a BPO outsourcing industry in the Philippines, I decided to go in Dubai, as an expat, basically just going on vacation. But when I arrived here, which is like 2010, interestingly, I found that Dubai is a land of opportunity because that was a time where it's starting to picking up from the market where in the US in 2008 the market crashes, and so Dubai is the first country to actually recover fast compared to other ones. So when I arrived here, I tried to work in an industry where I don't have any experience in. And so, because as young as naive as I am, I feel like I can do anything, right? So, I think I was like around 22, 23 back then. So, I don't have any much corporate experience. So, the culture is totally different. And then when I started working here in Dubai, basically, I started to become a little bit arrogant. So that was like my first job. So I've been laid off, first one, and then it humbled me. And then the second one, so so one of my principles, if you wanted to start a career on something, is that you need to start on small companies, because in small companies they teach you different things than you work with big companies. So on my second job, I've been laid off in 2013. So that was like a small company. So just imagine it's a husband and wife business, and then I was the third person. I was the number three. Then we grew up the company until 30 person, and then at the end of like 3 years, I was like burned out. I don't know what to do. And I said, I'm done, and instead, when I submitted my resignation, my boss back then, instead of like accepting it, he called our HR and said, tell Daniel he's fired. So I was like,
What?
exactly. Because like in any other companies, right? If you resign, definitely you will have your end of employee benefits because you work
Mm,
for so long in a company. But then again, the company twisted a little bit, saying that, all right, your performance is not good. You're gonna be laid off, and you won't receive anything, like a single penny. And interestingly, one of the things that really made me, I think, jump into entrepreneurship is because when I received that call, that call that said I'm laid off, like the moment I submitted my resignation, I went home and I received a call. He said, Daniel, tomorrow you need to leave Dubai. And I said, what? I need to leave Dubai? What do you mean? Like, we can only give you your passport and you need to go outside Dubai. If you want to work here, you need to find another way. And I was like, wow. So after working for 3 years for the company, treating like as a family and helping grow the company, I was treated like, a garbage, you can say.
Oh,
I'm
well,
sorry
that's
for the
awful.
term. Yeah, it's really awful. I really felt bad. And it took me a time to get peace with it. But then it took me upon as well a self-reflection, saying that, if I wanted to live my life on own terms, like I don't want someone to breathe down my neck, should I consider starting my own agency or starting my own company? Because if you wanted to start a company, you need to consider like what are your strengths, what are things that you love. So like any other first time business owners, we start to deliver a service, right? But I didn't know or any have any experience actually to run a proper company. So what I did, I said I don't have any funds. I have zero business background. When I came back to Dubai, so I just stopped over from Hong Kong. Actually, it really interesting because when I left on an airplane in Dubai, one of my friends are telling me because I play in a band in a church, saying, "Where are you? It's time for a practice for a band." I was like, "I'm in Hong Kong." Like, what? Were I just like talking to you yesterday? No, things happen. So when I arrived back in Dubai, I said, I'm gonna work for a small startup that can actually teach me how to run a proper business, how to run operations, how to sell, and how to collect money on time, because those are like the three basic things. And I don't know, have you seen Rose, the movie Founder?
No, I
the
haven't.
Mac-
No.
the McDonald's founder. So interesting because when I arrived in Dubai, so I did, I submitted all my CVs and all that. So I decided to luckily this company that actually my last 95 hired me because those founders that are in there have two different generational gap. One is a little bit older, so a little bit 50, more on the conservative side, more like, Daniel, you need to deliver results if you wanted to continue working here. The other one is similar age as I am, but he started opening up his company since I think 19 or 20. They're both from Finland. So if you interviewed people from Norway. So
Mm,
you can imagine they're really like conservative type of people, like with this mug,
mm,
So I worked with them for 2.5 years, and that's where the time where, all right, I'm gonna treat myself as a sponge, forget everything that I know and try to learn as much as I can. And then at the process of doing that, that is in the publishing industry.